Hey there, so today I'm just going to walk you through my process of putting in some dino kale. I got the seeds from Nativity Seeds, which is all Israel heirloom varieties, so I love them. And I got dino kale, dinosaur kale, because it's just my favorite variety. What can I say? So basically what I've got set up here, this is like a bed of salad greens, is these two rows of lettuce. One is of red lettuce and one is of green lettuce, and then I've got some other greens like dill and cilantro down here. They're using drip tape with holes that are 30 centimeters apart. My kale I'd like to grow a little bit closer together, about 15 centimeters in between each plant. So what I've got is a row of blind drip tape that I've used a hole puncher and these little drip apparati. So I put in a hole and a drip guy every 15 centimeters. These guys I seeded in the greenhouse, I think about 8 weeks ago. They've got 1, 2, 3 sets of true leaves already. They are super ready. You can even see they got a little bit leggy. They're like ready to be in the soil. That's it. So this bed, it has about one 25-liter sack of compost dug in with a digging fork, and it's been watered for about a week pretty regularly, so I've gotten a chance to get out all the weeds and the grass. And I'm going to show you how I plant, but first I just want to show you one cool little thing that's gone over here. This, right next to this strip tape, is this little guy. That is a germinated blue lupin that reseeded itself. It had grown over here last year. I tried to collect all the seeds because I wanted to save this space for vegetables and to reseed elsewhere. But since this guy's volunteered himself here, I want to keep him here. So I'm actually not going to put anything in this hole because the lupin will get pretty large. And finally, right here at the end of the bed, I'm putting in some calendula for diversity and beauty. There you go. So now I'll turn on the drip for about 5 minutes to water them in. Another note is that I did this at about 4:30 p.m. where, as you can see, this is already in the shade. Definitely do not want to blast these guys with some midday heat when they're just settling in. So those are the baby kale. And next task I'm moving on to is thinning out radishes. Here I've got a bed of radishes. These guys are the little red kind, snow neat. Over here I've got some daikon. And then over here are beets and carrots. So the first thinning, the basic thing that I would say about thinning is you just go in and you see how big is a radish and could this grow to its full size being next to each other. No, pluck it out. Go on through the whole bed and pluck out each one just to the extent where you think one of these guys could grow next to each other. Here are my radish thinnings. Had I taken them out when all they had was their seed leaves, that would be like delicious microgreens. I would just eat them raw. I personally don't like the rough, hairy texture of the true radish leaves, so I'll rinse these all off and saute them. So my final garden task for today is putting in artichokes. Now artichokes will live for a long time and give, please, God willing, plenty of food for the next 5 to 15 years. So I want to think wisely about where I put them. I've got over here an annual vegetable area, and as a renter I want to think, where can I put these guys that people might appreciate them for years to come, even once I'm out of here. So let me show you the place that I've selected. I've got room here along the strip tape for about 4 artichokes, which is what I've got. Now, why do I want artichokes on a border? I always plant perennials along a border so that they don't interfere with my annual veggie beds, and that's just a planning preference. Okay. So here's what this border spot looks like now that I've put in the artichokes. You can see I've got this drip tape that has a hole coming out every 30 centimeters, and artichokes need about 60 centimeters. Did I say meters? I meant centimeters. 60 centimeters to grow. So I've put annuals in between each one, calendula, and those can switch out every year as these other guys grow. Yeah. Final activity of the day. This was peas in the spring bed. Its next door neighbors are sweet potatoes. Over there are all the other summer crops that are going to come out. So I've just laid down some compost and some drip tape, and now I'm going to flip over the bed before I plant some fennel and bok choy and a little cilantro that I seeded about 6 weeks ago.